Alright, what's good everybody? It's your boy Akeem and welcome to today's vlog. Here to wrap things up with all of my top running backs for the 2013 fantasy football season. At number 10, I'm going to go with Alfred Morris out of the Washington Redskins. He had a great rookie season, setting an all-franchise record with 1,613 yards rushing last season, 13 touchdowns. But he only had 77 yards receiving last season. I think they need to use him more as a receiver. Hopefully he has good hands to help out RG3 in the passing attack. But I still think he's a good top 10 running back overall, obviously making my top 10. At number 9, I'm going to go with LaShawn Shady McCoy out of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he had a down year last season, 4.2 yards per carry, but that is because he had to deal with a couple of injuries, especially with his legs, and I think he's going to bounce back this season. He has a new head coach in Chip Kelly who uses a complex offense, and I think he's going to definitely use the versatility from LaShawn McCoy, and I think he's due for another big season. At number 8, I'm going to go with the 11th ranked player overall last season, Trent Richardson out of the Cleveland Browns. He finished 11th in points last season according to ESPN and Fantasy Play. I think he's going to improve this season and rush for over 1,000 yards. He had 950 yards rushing last season. At number 7, I'm going to go with C.J. Spiller out of the Buffalo Bills. He finally had his breakthrough season, rushed for over 1,200 yards and had over 500 yards receiving. And he had a great season overall, but he doesn't really have that many touchdowns, but he is a big-time home run threat. If he scores touchdowns, he will be one of the top 5 players in fantasy play this season. At number 6, I'm going to go with Jamaal Charles out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, what a comeback season he has. Yes, there was Adrian Peterson and Peyton Manning, but at third place in the comeback player of the year went to Jamaal Charles. He had a big season. Rushed well over 1,500 yards, 1,509 yards for being sacked, 1,745 yards from scrimmage, but he only had 6 touchdowns. And I have been saying this year after year, if this guy could just get in the end zone, if he could just get in the end zone, Jamaal Charles would definitely help out a lot of your teams out there in fantasy play. At number 5, I'm going to go with Marshawn Lynch out of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, he had a beast year last year, beast mode, first team All-Pro last season, 1,500 yards rushing, but there's a little bit of a concern because of Christian Michael. He's been doing pretty well so far in organized practices, and I think he could take up some time from Marshawn Lynch. But let's not forget, he is beast mode, and he will have a couple of big games this season. I still think he's a good top 5 running back. At number 4, I'm going to go with Doug Martin out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had a great rookie season, rushed for over 1,400 yards. He placed 6th last season in fantasy, 4th last season in fantasy play. I think he's going to have another good season with Josh Freeman, and he is a good receiver outside of the backfield. He's even better than Trent Richardson, like I mentioned, headed into last season's fantasy play and coming into last season's draft. He's a good, more all-purpose running back, better than Trent Richardson. I think he could have another big season. The breakout game he had last season was against the Minnesota Vikings. He just ran all over them. Also the Oakland Raiders, and I think he could have another great year. At number 3, I'm going to go with Ray Rice from the Baltimore Ravens. Now, due to the fact that Anquan Bolden is no longer with the team, they have to put the ball in Ray Rice's hands. Yes, Joe Flacco's a decent quarterback, had a good contract extension, but still, Ray Rice is that key to that offense, to the success for that offense, and they're definitely going to need him this season. At number 2, I'm going to go with my man Arian Foster out of the Houston Texans. He had another big season. He placed second overall in points last season, led the league in 15 rushing touchdowns, but his yards per carry, even though his yards per carry lowered each for the past 3 seasons, he's still a great running back. And let's not look at the yards per carry. Like I said before, it's all about the points, and he placed second at running back. He would definitely be in good use this season. And my number 1 guy, this is an obvious choice, my man Adrian Peterson, last season's AP MVP in the National Football League. He had a big comeback season, just a couple yards shy of breaking the rushing record in most yards in the season, trying to break Eric Dickerson's record, but he had 2,000 yards, 2,097 yards rushing last season. He had a big year, and he is definitely that number 1 guy on everybody's depth chart for their projections for this year's draft. Now I have a couple of honorable mentions for you guys. Now like I said, because of the depth at running back, there's a lot of concerns of who will be a good role player, good third running back for you guys. And I think I have a couple of decent players, but it all depends. And I think you guys should hold on for the first 3 weeks of the season to see how they perform. Eddie Lacy from the Green Bay Packers, Le'Veon Bell from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I kind of understand why Pittsburgh went with Le'Veon Bell, because he has that look and he has that attitude, that Pittsburgh style attitude, that he could play smash mouth football, Pittsburgh style. And I did like this selection. I thought they should have went with Eddie Lacy at first, but then I did more analyzing and I started to see why Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh Steelers decided to go with Le'Veon Bell. I think he does have the Pittsburgh look, but we will see. Give him at least 3 weeks to see how he produces in the National Football League. Also, there's Monty Ball, another rookie running back coming for the Denver Broncos. A lot of people have him in the top 20 projections, but not me. I do not really have too much faith in the running game for the Denver Broncos. They're going to depend more on Peyton Manning, but we will see. Like I said, give these players a couple of weeks. Now, a couple of tips for you guys for your drafts for this year. Like I said before, you guys should definitely go with running back with this selection. Now, I honestly believe whoever is picking 10th and in 10 league draft, they have the best position and out of all the positions for each team in fantasy play. Why? Because they can have top 10 running backs with their first selection. With the first, they're going to pick last in the first round and then first in the second round, and they will definitely get 2 quality running backs. They will have the best position. But I think most people should definitely go with running back with their first pick, but at least give with their second running back by the third pick. If you don't get a second running back by your third pick, you're in a whole lot of heap of trouble, because this is the most concerning, most worried position in fantasy play, and this is very important for everybody. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys is going to be on Saturday, where I will post you guys 2 videos to give you my top 20 wide receivers. Thank you for watching this vlog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.